right. Well, as we wrap up every podcast week here on the show, courtesy of our friends at the DQs of Northwest Edmonton and Sherwood Park, we hand the mic over to you. Yeah, that's right. These are all real emails or YouTube comments from real talkers, your hottest takes. It's the Flamethrower, presented by the DQs of Northwest Edmonton and Sherwood Park. And Ryan, not me, not Huska, but another Ryan kicks us off here. And he says, all right, Jespo. He says, Ralph was right about something. Okay, referencing former Premier Klein says, I'm going after these city folk, says Ryan, who believe that we should just let the criminals run amok. As a rural resident, we are well aware that emergency services may take a while to reach us. The majority of time when we see police presence, it's for revenue generation and traffic enforcement. We don't see rural crime watch meetings led by the police anymore. Ambulance services are typically assisted by the fine volunteer firefighters that proudly serve their communities. You know, one of the qualities of living this rural life is to work hard and enjoy the spoils of your work and to raise your family in peace. Now that said, when somebody comes to relieve you of your spoils or relieve you of your peace without your invitation or consent, it gets old having to pay insurance premiums because of the dregs of society refusing to work hard for themselves. You know, more and more reports of violent home invasions across North America are coming to light, and it's understandable that people are fighting back, and criminals who have not been held accountable by the justice system are entering the find out phase of their fuckery. Folks in the rural areas have typically access to heavy equipment. They can dig a hole in less time than it takes for authorities to show up. Adam, I knew you were going to love this one. If they even show up and just tell you to come to town and file a police report during office hours, Ralph had it right. Shoot, shovel, and shut up. And enough of these low lifes happen to not make it home. Perhaps the message will get sent. That from Ryan, a proud rural resident. The small print, the show does not endorse vigilante justice or murder in any way, shape, or form. How about this one from Robert, a letter from rural Alberta. He says, hey, Jespo, thank you for having, not insane people on your show. Says it's refreshing. I mean, the odd one doesn't matter. But he says, generally, Robert, as soon as you started reading Marie's email the other show, I thought it was going to be about city folk being disrespectful because, we can get a latte and not understanding real or rural Alberta while complaining about others being divisive. And that's the passive-aggressive stuff that I don't miss about country living, says Robert. Sure, there's problems in rural Alberta, like healthcare falling apart, public education being dismantled, but maybe bring that up with your MLA and not us woke city folk. He says, anyway, good work on the book ban topic. It really does make us all look like fucking clowns on a global stage when we're more concerned with bullying kids than keeping them safe from the measles. Robert says, I don't want Alberta to be Florida minus the Stanley Cup. Robert getting a jab in there at the end. What about this one from Wendy, who says, all right, Jespo, the final straw for me, this Ensuring Fairness and Safety Act in Alberta, parents with kids in sports now required to sign a form confirming their child's sex or gender at birth. But before declaring this deplorable act, did this government receive letters or emails or phone calls from parents or coaches or teachers or school boards or the general public complaining about the unfairness about a high number of young trans female athletes competing in school sports? Is there evidence that too many young girls are losing to trans girls in sports, or that teams are now being stacked with trans girls and winning a disproportionate number of tournaments? Nothing is ever evidence-based, says Wendy. As usual, this government has created a solution to a problem that does not exist, and it is discriminatory and blatantly anti-trans, and I, for one, am sick of it. That from Wendy. And how about this one from Matthew, who calls me to the carpet and says, Jespo, I am disappointed in your comments on the Blatchford neighborhood development. You do such an excellent job of showing multiple perspectives when you raise an issue, and yet on this one, you're using loaded language without even trying to highlight another perspective, let alone trying to actually learn about it first. Around half of this neighborhood is either developed, roads, utilities built, ready to sell, being developed, or in the planning stages. Ironmonger knows that's not true. No, I'm just joking, Matthew. And he goes on, he says there's already 300 townhouse units built or under construction, some of them going for under 350 grand, others are rentals. He says the first people moved in there back in November 2020. I rent one of those units, he says. It was the most affordable rental I could find in Edmonton, decent quality, $1,400 a month, including utilities. Matthew, that's actually phenomenal. He says the next stage is almost ready for builders, serviced and ready to go. Before you call Blatchford a boondoggle again, consider this. What do you think about Griesbaugh, another Edmonton neighborhood still under development more than 20 years after the first lots went on the market in 2004? He says, I don't expect you to whitewash anything, and I don't want you to stop holding the city accountable, but please try to have some fucking nuance. Don't just drive past the neighborhood. Drop by to look with your own eyes. Look at how many homes get sold before the foundations are even poured. Talk to the city, man, seeing the development, some builders on the ground, or maybe even some residents. Just do your damn homework. He says, try to have more depth than just calling my neighborhood of Blatchford a boondoggle. We deserve better. Your show is worthy of better, and you are more than capable of delivering. Matthew, point taken. Matthew takes us into the weekend with another episode of The Flamethrower, proudly presented by the DQs in Palisades, Namao, Newcastle, Westmount, and Baseline Road. When you pop in for a yellow Thai curry pineapple smooth. No, they don't do that shit with their blizzards, but I recommend the Score Blizzard and the Flamethrower Signature Stack Burger. Make sure you let them know that Real Talk sent you. Supriya Dwivedi is back with us on Monday, right after we sit down in person with Minister Evan Solomon. It's going to be a great week. Some other big surprises in store, too. You can always sign up for our email at ryanjesperson.com and make it a great weekend.